Hey guys, once again, hello from the media center of the Batumi Women's World Cup, and I'm bringing to you the best game of the third round of this KO tournament. The most exciting game from my point of view was the encounter between Anna Muzychuk, we saw her sister Maria in the previous video, playing with the white pieces against the young Chinese prodigy Song Yuxin. Anna's a grandmaster, seasoned grandmaster, former winner of many events this year, rated 25-44. Song Yuxin is an international master, 24-10, up and coming, and she actually qualified for the next round by defeating Anna. So Yuxin is actually still in the tournament, and I'm talking here in the fifth round. But this game, Anna was the winner, as you will see. It's the first of the tiebreak games, 15 minutes for each player, 10 seconds increment. Anna played e4, and for this game, she chose the Alapin variation, which she hasn't played much, only on specific occasions. She actually played it twice against Song Yuxin in her match against the Chinese player. But this line with d4 with bishop f5 is quite interesting and considered to be one of the best lines for black against the Alapin. The problem is you have to remember specific lines and variations. So if you make a mistake in this line, you could easily fall in a bad position. And this is what happens to Yuxin in the game. Bishop to e3, knight to f6 is okay. Bishop e2, pawn takes pawn. And now you would generally capture with the pawn. And the main idea behind the bishop to f5 is to swap off the knight on b1 and play with the knight eventually on d5, play against the d4 pawn without white being able to play knight to c3. But you have to wait until this specific moment to swap off the knight. In the game, Song Yuxin against knight takes d4, she decided to swap off the knight here, which is exactly the same as the other variation, but with the big difference that the two knights on f3 and c6 are not on the board anymore. And that is a huge difference, as we shall see. Instead, she should have captured the pawn on g2. And I'm sure that Anna had some analysis in this position, but I failed to see where the compensation is. I think that black is fully okay, still with established d5 control. White's pawns are broken. I just failed to see where the advantage is for white in this position. I think black's actually slightly better, which makes me think that Anna made a mistake playing knight takes d4. Now, was it conscious? Was it a mix-up in the move order? I think both players mixed up in this position. In a subsequent game, both of them played much better. But in this game, I think both of them mixed up. Anna mixed up taking with the knight instead of the pawn in this position. And Song Yuxin mixed up capturing b1 at the not appropriate moment. And this is what happens when you prepare a lot of theory before a game, and then you get mixed up with your move orders in the middle of the game. Anyway, back to the game. Anna took on b1, threatening queen to a4, threatening bishop f3, and already we can see that Muzychuk has a very good position. Every move she makes creates a threat which prevents black from playing e6 and bishop e7 and getting the king into safety. That's why you have to use the initiative to attack very quickly. Now she's threatening bishop e5, a6, bishop to f3, again another threat, and rook to c1, another threat. Now the threat is bishop to c6, which is a very interesting way of winning material. So black played queen to b5, trying to exchange queens, but now we pick up the pawn on b7, and now white has equal material, but look at these bishops. Look at the king. This is completely lost. Bishop to e3, and now we hit with a check, protected by the rook from behind. Knight d7, king e2, and then the knight will be pinned to death. And king d8, which was played in the game, king e2 again, take, and now we're just picking up this pawn here. We have 2 passes plus the 2 bishops to win the game. Song precipitated the defeat. She played b4, and now check and rook d1, and there's no way of stopping the mate on d8. This was a fast and clean miniature game. Obviously, both players made mistakes. Song made the biggest mistake. But we learned some lessons here. First, that Song was able to bounce back from this defeat and even qualify for the next round, eliminating Anna Muzychuk. So that's important from a psychological perspective. And then from a technical perspective, try and avoid making moves that increase the development of your opponent in the opening, especially with black. And most importantly, when you're analyzing and preparing for games, try not to study too much theory, because it's good to study a bit of theory to get an idea of what you're going to play. But if you study too much theory, then you risk mixing up your move orders when you get to the board. So important lessons to be learned from this game between Anna and Song Yuxin. For me, I'll be back in a couple of days with another video, and just goodbye from the press center here in Batumi, Georgia, where I'm following the World Cup and bringing content for FIDE. See you in the next video, guys. Bye-bye.